What's up, YouTube? It's Kelly here in the wonderful world of Kellyland. It's been a little while. Sorry it took so long to get back to you on this beautiful black beauty of a daily driver Dodge, or Ram rather. Finally got everything figured out with my Diablosport i3 tuner. Figured I'd go over some other things real quick that's done to the truck and then touch on that tuner, what all went wrong with it, how we got it fixed, and how it's performing so far. Look at this beautiful thing. And that beautiful thing. Gonna have to do a video on the white truck sometime. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. It's Swifty 12 valve. So back to this thing. This I got this spring. I had a Ford Fusion. The Ford Fusion was a good car. If you like cars, I don't like cars. I've had cars, Jeeps, trucks. I always revert back to pickups, but it's a 2017 half-ton. It's four-wheel drive. I picked it up. It was a pretty good deal, basically due to this super awesome pinstriping and tramp stamp that the previous owner thought looked good. That's going to come off of here one of these days. First thing I did was a muffler delete. Still have cats and resonators. Just reuse the factory dual exhaust. It sounds really good. It sounds just like straight pipes, just not quite as loud at low load times. Anytime you really hammer on it though, it's just as loud as straight pipes, but real nice smooth tone. Factory black wheels. Hopefully going to do something with that. Maybe some bigger tires. Not sure yet. Second thing I did was a McGoffey's, I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced, 2-inch reverse leveling kit. Basically was 2-inch shorter coil springs for the rear. We'll see if we can get a picture of them there. Yeah, real nice. So yeah, it's just a coil spring. It fits in the factory bucket. Don't have to change anything out other than the coil springs. They're basically just 2 inches shorter. They're a little bit stiffer to make up for the reduced height of the spring, but if anything, it just kind of firms up the rear a little bit. I like it. I don't see why you wouldn't like it, but they do that so you keep your factory payload capacity and whatnot. Only other thing I've really done besides the tuner is that tonneau cover. Just kind of makes things nice and clean. You can throw stuff in there. It gets some moisture if you're driving through a fucking tsunami, but yeah, for the most part stays pretty dry. I believe that was a Gator covers. Cheap knockoff of a Truxedo or whatever. Just roll up Velcro cover. I can show you real quick, I guess. Just got one tab to release it there. It's got crossbars, adjustable tension on the leather. So as it breaks in, you can keep it nice and tight. That's pretty much it. It gets about 19 miles a gallon, whether you run MDS or not. I've got MDS shut off right now with the tuner. For all you that aren't sure what that is, it's basically where the engine shuts off the valves to 4 of the cylinders, and basically makes it a 4-cylinder engine, so it can get a little better mileage when you're not using all 395 horsepower from that big old Hemi. As you can see, my dogs have no manners, and every time I open the door they jump in. That's pretty much it. That leveling kit, made a pretty big difference on the truck for me. I don't know if anybody else would notice it. Before, there was 2.5-inch difference between the height of the rear wheel well and the driver's side rear wheel well. Now there is a 1/2 inch, so it dropped it exactly 2 inches. Hopefully it'll settle some more. Hey Dash, what you doing, bud? Hopefully it'll settle some more over the next few thousand miles, and it'll be, perfectly even or whatever. But it sets pretty well level. If you're not planning on doing bigger tires and stuff, it definitely gives the truck a nice clean look. Dash, can you say hi to the folks on YouTube? No? That's okay. They don't like you either. This little shit. Come on out of here, dogs. Come on out of here, boys. So yeah, this is Kelly Land down here. I don't know, southeast central Iowa somewhere, a few minutes from Missouri. Come on, for serious. What's the matter for yourself? Come on, dude. You guys can just live in there. You know we got the car seat because we're all about that dad life around here. Come on, boys. Sexy. Are you guys just gonna stay there or what? Darn dogs don't listen. One little update I'll have to go over another time. Picked up some sweet body panels for that thing, rust free. They kind of need a little bit of work, some massaging and some Bondo maybe, but they're gonna look real freaking nice. Get this thing all back to its former glory so I can go ahead and destroy it. So anyways, I'm gonna grab Dash here and we'll head up to the garage and I'll go over this tuner and how all that went down. Can you say Hemi?
Hemi.
Damn copyright. Thought the dog was gonna knock over the kid there for a second. Hopefully the phone picks that up. Nice smooth idle. A little bit of chop chop. Maybe more someday, who knows. Let's get this thing moved up to the garage. You driving, bud?
No.
Hold on. Damn, copyright's gonna get us again before this deal's over. Getting sad. My favorite time of year is autumn. All the leaves are blowing off the trees. It's terrible. It's terrible. Alright folks, we're back up here at the garage. Before we go in, I just wanted to show you one thing. This paint is pretty dirty. Look at that beautiful freaking glitter. Oh my gosh, Dodge trucks are terrible. All they do is fall apart. But man, when they're still in good shape, they look nice. So anyways, this is the old shop here. Garage, shop, dungeon, whatever. It's where we get some stuff done. What up, cat? But back to this tuner. It's a Diablosport i3. This is the box it comes in. Pretty basic. This is everything that comes in the box. You've got your tuner. The cable is permanently attached to this one. You got a cable to hook it up to your computer, a couple warnings, a sticker for the PCM, I suppose, or wherever you want to put it, and then this quick start guide. This guy, guys, real basic information. Plug it in, do the tuning. There ain't a whole lot there. So I suggest you do a little bit of research, maybe watch a couple YouTube videos if you're thinking about doing something like this. Since mine is a 17, again, I think that was 2015 where they switched to where you have to get a unlocked PCM. Mine more or less just came with the unlocked PCM. I believe it shipped from Holly. I think they own Diablosport now. So if you watched the first video, we had some problems. We put the unlocked PCM in, and basically the truck wouldn't start. And we talked to customer service, and they more or less told us that we didn't follow the instructions, which between the tuner and the PCM came with its own little SOP or procedure, if you will. Aside from comments I made in the first video, I did read that through the night before and again before we started working, and had the results that we did. After calling back on a different day, I got a different customer service rep or tech support guy, whatever you want to call him. He definitely seemed much more knowledgeable. He pretty much said that the first guy that we had must have gotten confused on the make or model or year or something of the vehicle, and to basically forget everything that guy said. So we worked with that guy 3 or 4 times over the next couple weeks, Some with the tuner to see if there was a problem with it, and then some with the computer. We basically ended up cleaning all the terminals on the truck and the PCM swap, PCM, the one that they sent me, and we were able to get it installed and working so that the truck would run on the PCM that they sent me, which we couldn't do in the first video. So there was nothing wrong with the PCM. They didn't have to send it back or send me a new one or anything. We just apparently had some kind of issue when we installed that, and so we got that going. But then the tuner still would not tune the truck, and so we had to work with them a couple more times over the next couple weeks. Hooked it up to the computer a few times, sent them some files, they sent some back, and now we've got it to where the tuner boots up and we can change tunes on the truck. So far, aside from those little issues in the beginning, which I do have to say, once we got that second tech, yeah, say hi. Once we got that second tech, he really knew what he was doing. He treated me right. He was always polite on the phone and everything, and prompt with his getting back to me on emails and whatnot. Just unfortunate, not sure what happened, but it is taken care of now. And I do have to say, I've had a handful of Super Chips tuners in the past, and I did have one on a 2008 Dodge that had similar issues, but they're all owned by the same company now anyway. So moving right along, I'll get this tuner booted up and show you a little bit that's on it. By the way, just want to do a quick shout out to our hopefully sponsors. No, seriously though, if any of you guys own a company and you want to sponsor us, that'd be freaking great. All right, folks, we're back in the truck here. Got our tuner. We got our wrench work hats. Shout out to Greg A there. Like, subscribe, bro. That'd mean a lot. Anyways, the first thing you're going to want to do actually is make sure that the battery's good and charged up. So if you haven't already been driving the vehicle, go take it for a spin. Make sure your battery's charged up well. Otherwise, the Diablosport recommended throwing a trickle charger on it while you're tuning it, just to make sure that that battery doesn't die while you're using this tuner. You're going to go ahead and plug the end of the cable into the OBD port. Almost always located right there below the steering wheel. It's going to start booting up here. It's a little slow, so you got to be patient. Be ready to devote a good 20 minutes or so to switching tunes. Any minute now. Come on, girl. Don't you know YouTube's a busy place? These people have other things they should be doing, like working, hanging out with their families, voting. Today is November 3rd. Hopefully that doesn't show how slow we are getting videos posted, but there we go. First thing that's going to pop up, basically a safety warning. You're going to go ahead and acknowledge that. So this is your main menu here. You've got settings for the tool, scan tool. You can actually read check engine lights with this, which is nice. And then you've got tune vehicles. If you click on that, it's going to ask you to turn your key on, but do not start the engine. Sorry about that. We've got our key on run without trying to start the engine. Dash is all lit up and everything. We're going to go ahead and continue. So right now it's basically accessing the computer so that it can see what all it's going to be able to change. Alright, so here we are. We've got Easy Tune, which is just changing the tune but not changing any other parameters. Then Advanced Tune, you can actually change some other stuff. We'll see if it'll let us get in here without actually changing the tune. Okay, so you can start from scratch basically with Tune Select, or you can adjust the current tune. So these are the only parameters that I have not modified, and that's tire size, and there's some off-road settings. But I'm not going to mess with that. Those are inside PCM, looks like. The truck has been sitting for a little while now, so I don't think I'm going to change the tune. And every time you tune these newer vehicles, the transmission has to do a relearn. So basically it just reverts back to what's on the PCM from the factory as far as shift points and stuff. So it's kind of crappy for a couple days, and if you don't watch what you're doing, you can damage your transmission when you're doing that. Yeah, there we've got her unplugged. Go ahead and start the truck back up, make sure we didn't do anything bad. And we're good. We'll have to do another video sometime when I change the tuning to a different tune. All the tunes are performance tunes. There's an 87 octane, a 89 octane, a 91, and then there's a jammer. I think it's called a jammer tune, which you're not supposed to run unless you have their cold air intake. I'm not going to run a cold air intake on this truck, and I like running cheap fuel, especially since I drive it every day. I don't know how big of a difference there is between the 87 and the 91 or whatever. It's supposed to be pretty substantial on the website, but I don't know what you'd actually get out of it. This tune I think is supposed to be like 10 horsepower and 15 foot-pounds of torque, but I wasn't really after making any more power. Sorry about that. We're back. Fumbled the phone. Anyways, I wasn't really after making that much more horsepower so much as I was trying to smooth things out. So the pedals in these newer vehicles, are kind of dumbed down so that you're not hard on the vehicle and you don't spin tires taking off from stop signs and whatnot. So the tuner really changes that a little bit and just gives a lot better throttle response. And then also with these vehicles that have variable valve timing, if you have one and you've driven it, they're kind of choppy. Kind of feels like even though you plant your foot to the floor, it kind of feels like the computer is slowly applying throttle a little bit at a time. So this really smoothed all that out. It brings that variable valve timing in a lot sooner, so you're making more power sooner. Maybe not more than peak, what they advertise the tuner to make, but you're making more in that lower RPM range where you actually drive. So it's definitely no hot rod drag racer, but it definitely runs better than it did before, and it's a lot more fun to drive, especially from 2,000 RPM to 4,000 probably. I would say after 4,000 RPM it pretty much feels the same, but that, like I said, that lower RPM range is a lot more fun and a lot more responsive. And then this tuner also tunes the transmission. That did make a pretty big difference. It just changes the shift points a little bit and makes the shifts a lot quicker and firmer. Nothing crazy like your dad's old beat up Chevy with a shift kit in the transmission, but something along those lines. If you downshift to first or second from a higher gear, it'll trip the tires, and shifting from first to second, it'll trip the tires. So that's something I didn't do before that it does do. But overall, definitely a lot more fun to drive. I can't remember, maybe I said it in the first video, I think it was like $600 for the tuner and the computer. I would say it's worth it. Time will tell. But I am able to run with the MDS off now, which is better for the motor itself and sounds a lot cooler once you do a different exhaust. It sounds pretty lame in MDS mode. So we don't have that problem, and we're getting the same mileage we had before when we were running the MDS. So that is a bonus. But definitely, if you're thinking about doing something like that, check out Diablosport. Great customer service, great tech support. The tool, when you do go to tune it, super easy to use. There's tons of videos out there and tons of help on forums and stuff. So I'm not gonna waste your guys' time any longer with that. Just roll my window up here. But yeah, sorry it took so long to get back to you guys. If there's something you want to see more of on the channel, subscribe, like, whatever, leave a comment, tell us what you want to see. We've all got some pretty cool stuff, and we think that we're interesting dudes. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video, but see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by.